Alright, I'm going to make a quick a boat to export to Blender, and we're going to get it animated and stuff with a spinning propeller, moving motor, stuff like that. So if you haven't used Blender before, it kind of has two purposes. One would be for creating game objects, another is for rendering 3D graphics, making like uh, photorealistic images for uh, like short films and stuff like that. Um, so by default, when you start it up, it has a startup file that has a lamp and the camera, and we don't need that since we're not rendering anything. So I'm going to delete those. If you haven't used Blender before, it's kind of counterintuitive because you don't click on something with the left mouse button like you normally do. The way you select items is by clicking on them with the right mouse button. So you click on it, hit the delete button on your keyboard, hit enter. This cube, we're actually going to use that. We're going to scale it a little bit in the Y direction. You can see right here you have a little key that says Y direction this way, X that way, Z that way. If you want to see the details about the object and the things you can change, expand this little thing right here. So we said we're going to scale the Y, make it a little bit longer, and then we'll flatten it by scaling the Z a little bit smaller. Oop, that looks good to me. Alright, zoom in by using the mouse wheel. Orbit by clicking down on the mouse wheel and moving the mouse. You can also do like a strafing left and right, up and down by holding shift, clicking down on the scroll wheel and moving the mouse. So right now we're in object mode. There's a bunch of different modes. We're going to be using edit mode and object mode. I want to make the boat a little bit pointy. So to do that, I need to select this object and then edit it. It's all highlighted right now, but I only want to edit this this line right here and this line right here, this edge. Uh, right now we're in vertex mode, and so I guess that we could move the vertex around like that, but I think it'd be easier to do the edge mode. There's also a face mode, but we're going to use edge mode. Alright, so I'm going to select that edge, and I'm going to change the view to the top, and I'm going to move that edge. Oh, shoot, that's not what I want to do. Control Z. So you saw how it moved the whole edge of the boat in like that. So actually what I'm going to do is I am going to do a face select. I'm going to view the side so I can extrude just, if I try and extrude that right now, it's going to go in a weird direction. Oh, maybe not. It is going where I want it to go. Okay, I thought it was going to go like all crazy. Alright, so now that we have that extruded, now I'm going to go back to edge mode and try and move something. Was it number pad 7 top? Yeah, it was. Boom. Now it's nice and pointy like a boat. And then we'll get this one right here. Go back to top, number pad 7. Move that in. Nice. It's looking more like a boat now. A little bit. Alright. So, and then now we got the main body of the boat. We need to add an engine to it. So we're going to go back to object mode. You see this life ring thing looking thing? When you use the left mouse clicker, you can move that around. It's basically just telling the engine where you want to add an object or where you want to place something. If we add a cube right now, it's going to put it there. I don't really want it there though. So if I want to place it more towards the object that I'm creating, like make it center line, then I'm going to, because this is still centered from the original cube, so I'm going to place the cursor back there by going object, snap, the cursor is selected. I'm going to add a new cube. This is going to be the main engine. I'm going to scale it down because that's way too big for an engine. I can't see it anymore. So I'm going to go to wireframe mode and move it over. That might be too small for an engine. Maybe I'll scale it up a little bit. That's a beefy engine. Okay, that will do. I'm gonna move it up a little bit, and I think I'm gonna scale the X a little bit. Oh no, not the X. Control G. The Y. Oh, I was doing the Y. That was my bad. Scale the X a little bit. There we go. Yeah, that looks more like what I'm used to seeing. Maybe scale the Z a little bit too. Yeah, that's good. Maybe make it a little bit better that way. I like that. Go back to solid so we can get a look at this. Move it out a little bit. Alright, that's good. So now we went back to perspective mode. I'm going to hit number pad 5 to go back to ortho. Okay, I like it. Alright, so next thing we're going to do, we're going to add like a cylinder, like a shaft to connect the propeller to. So we're back in object mode. I want to move the cursor over here. Object, snap, cursor is selected. There's shortcuts for this. I haven't learned it yet, but you can get faster at it. Add mesh cylinder. I'm going to scale it down. We're going to go into wireframe mode so we can see. I'm going to view from the top. Scale it down some more. Move it this way a little bit. Okay. And I need to scale the Z direction. Move it down a little bit. Let's get that left-hand view, or right-hand view. Was it 3? Yeah. That looks good. And then move cursor to the cylinder. We're going to add another cylinder down here. Make it kind of look like hydrodynamic by adding a sphere to one side of it. Cylinder, scale it down. Let's scale up this one. 0.61, 0.61. Let's change this to 0.61, 0.61. What happened? I changed the wrong thing to 0.61. No. 0.61. 0.61. Oh, 0.061. That's what it was. It's better. And view the right hand side. Rotate it. Negative 90. Or just 90 will do. Down. I'm gonna move the cursor over here. Snap. Cursor is selected. Add a sphere. And I'm gonna scale at 0.061. That should make it look pretty good. Let's view this in solid. Yeah, that looks pretty good. back to the right-hand side view. Cursor is still in a good spot. Now we're going to add a cone right here for the propellers to attach to. Add mesh cone. Scale it. We said 0.061. Oop. 0.061. And that looks pretty good. Rotate it. I think -90. X. Nope, just 90. There we go. Let's get a little bit of an air gap between the two because they're going to be two separate parts. Let's view from the back. Oh, no, view from the directions are all mixed up on this. Alright. Cool, that looks good. That here could be a little bit bigger. Actually, I think I just need to move it somewhere. Yeah, there we go. Alright, so I'll move the cursor over here. Alright, so for the blades are they have like a twist to them that I don't know how to do. I know it's possible because I've done it before. You can go to modifiers and add one of these crazy techniques to twist something, but for simplicity, we're just gonna put some flat blades on there by adding a cube. So add mesh cube, scale it down a lot. Scale down the X. I think the thickness is fine. Maybe a little bit smaller. Okay, if that's a good thickness, I need to rotate it and maybe shorten it. So scale down the Z. Oh, not that much. Scale down, 0.045. How about that? Scale down the Y. Yeah, I like that. Move it up to the center. Pad 1. Where's that? Let's see if it's centered by looking at this. Alright. And now I'm going to rotate it a little bit. Rotate it about the Z. This way. Maybe like that. 19 degrees. Does that look good? Let's round it out to 20. And then move it over so it's centered. Pad 1. Yeah, that looks good. Alright. And I've done this, I was doing this earlier, so I have a really convenient way of making this happen. I'm going to duplicate this object. It automatically wants to move it, just hit escape, and they're just right on top of each other. Now I'm going to take my original one, which was cube 2. And I'm gonna hold shift and click the cone. And join them, which is Control J. I'm going to rotate it 120 degrees, plus 90, 210. Oh, nope, not like that. Undo. Okay, just like that. I didn't have to do any math, just 120. Okay. Now I'm going to duplicate this one. Shift D. Hit escape so that it's one on top of the other. And with my original one selected, I'm going to hold shift to select the cone. And Control J to join. I'm going to rotate it another 120 degrees to 240. And I'm going to select the last one. Shift, select the cone. Control J. Boom. Propeller's done. Alright, so as it is right now, if I exported these objects to Unity, I would not be able to move them independently of each other. So I need to add what's called an armature to get these things moving, to make them movable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, let's get the cursor moved up here. And let's add an armature. Basically, the armature is how you move and animate things. You can attach them to the 3D objects. So right now, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 3D objects. I'm actually going to combine all these into one object right now. So select the big box, shift, select that cylinder, keep holding shift, select the sphere, and select the cylinder, and Control J. Now they're all one object. Okay. So the boat is one object, the motor, we're going to have that moving, and the propeller is a separate object we're going to have moving. But in order to move them, we need to attach this armature. So I'm going to go back into wireframe mode. I'm going to view from the side. I'm going to rotate this, and I'm going to move it. I'm going to scale it a little bit. So basically, I want this thing to pivot like you would normally pivot a motor. If we wanted to program it to go up and down, then the whole thing will pivot like this. And if we want to program it to go left and right, then the whole thing could pivot like this. Let's scale it down a little bit more. Alright, and then I need to, these objects are not associated, so I need to associate them. And the way you do that is by making, you select this, hold shift, select your armature, and Control P to make it a parent. And I always use, the option that seems to work the best is this with automatic weights. And now there's a new mode you can use called pose mode, which is a mode for armatures. You select your armature, rotate, and it's rotating, but for some reason it didn't get the bottom of the motor, even though I joined those. So I think what will fix that is if we extend the armature down to the bottom. And so if we go back to edit mode, select this armature, and type E to extrude, that will give us a new bone. And we'll put it down there. And then press E again, because we're going to actually need to attach the armature for the propeller. Zoom in. good. Let's see if it actually works on the pose mode now. Nope, still not working. Let me try that again. Oh, I need to undo the parenting. That's what I didn't do. Undo the parenting. So I hit Control Z a few times. Alright. So back into edit mode. And extrude that. Extrude that. Alright, and then redo the parenting by going back to object mode. Select this. Shift. Select that. Control P with weights. And back in pose mode. Right click on that thing. And rotate. There. Now it's all selected. Okay. And now we just need to make an armature for this. So we'll move the cursor there. Add armature, single bone. It's way too big. I'm going to rotate it 90. Scale it down. Alright. And I need to make it apparent. Control P with weights. Let's just test it out real quick in pose mode. Change the rotation of, yep, there it is, spinning. Cool. When we rotate the Y, it spins, which is just what we want. Set it back to 0. And I'll exit pose mode, go back to object mode. So still the problem is though, if we go to pose mode and try and, so it's not connected. And if I did this all in one armature, then when I go to rotate the propeller, it's going to twist the base of the motor. So what we actually need to do is we need to combine these bones. So we're going to go back to object mode, select that bone, oops, select that bone, select that bone, and I think let me try this again. Now we're back in pose mode, object mode. There we go. Control P, and instead of with the automatic weights, just select bone. And now when we go to pose mode and select this, it all rotates together. And when we go rotate the propeller, the propeller rotates without twisting. Without twisting the bottom part of the engine. Perfect. So we're good to export this now. So it's completely ready for export into Unity. So to export it, we're just going to File, Export, FBX, and we'll name it Boat, Export FBX. Alright, and so next video we'll be importing that into Unity and setting up a script so that we can control this boat using the keyboard. So thanks for watching, and yeah, hope you guys check out the Unity video.